It is Friday morning. Rob out today, but that's okay because Caleb's sitting in with us this morning. And heading on to another great interview here on Acadiana's Morning News. Senator Bill Cassidy joining us on the line. Sir, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Bernie, it is great to be with you.
Well, I appreciate the chance to be able to chat with you. So what is new in the world of Senator Bill Cassidy? I mean, I know you guys sit around and do nothing, right?
Well, so I wake up every morning and I see what has President Trump tweeted today, because that will tell me what my inbox will be filled of.
I'll bet.
And Trump obviously keeps things hopping, but on the other hand, we have an economy which has record low unemployment, record high employment for many groups. The economy's growing 4.1% last quarter. Wages are going up. Inflation is stable. People getting off of disability into the workforce. So there's lots of good things, a lot of good things to feel good about.
All right. Now, one of the things I feel very good about is the fact that you were able to help pass along and get this National Flood Insurance Program back up, running, funded for now. Thank God. We need it.
Absolutely. We're going into hurricane season. We can't have any lapse whatsoever. You're buying a home and all of a sudden you realize, closing has been postponed because the flood insurance program has lapsed. We're able to get a short-term extension. In the short-term extension, we're working to try and get a compromise bill through, which I say compromise, not really a compromise. It's got these incredible reforms that would be good for our state, good for our nation, make the program more accountable, affordable, sustainable. So we got 4 months to complete that task.
Okay, well, good to know. Any extension is a good extension. And then, so is it all about the funding? Is that why we end up kind of, it's sort of we do a year or so or 2 years and then we're back at it again. Is that kind of what ends up happening because of how much it costs?
Well, yes and no. How much it costs. There are some folks who desperately want to privatize some parts of the program. About 60% of people in Louisiana would pay lower premiums if there was some privatization, as an example of the benefits. And there's other people that hate the idea of privatization and will do whatever they can to stop it for whatever reason. They just think it's better if the federal government controls things than if it's private. So it's not always directly about the cost, although ultimately it comes down to the cost.
Okay, makes sense. I want to talk with you a little bit about this idea of, it is $1 gazillion dollars for the cost of educating our children. And, those costs are not going to go down. I mean, yes, technology costs go down. That's wonderful. But it costs a pretty penny to be able to educate our kids. What are some of your thoughts in this area? Should we be making cuts? Should we not be making cuts? What's the right move, Senator?
Well, you have to look at education not as just one single thing, but as different parts of education. And the reason I put it that way, we just had a kind of a fight in Congress about how much each state receives on technical education. Mm-hmm. Now, technical education is learning to be a better welder. As an example. And so there's a formula fight, if you will, in which Louisiana was going to lose money. And this is as Southwest Louisiana has this huge construction boom, which is also in the river parishes, which now oil field services are coming back. So just when we have all these folks being trained or retrained, Louisiana is going to lose money. That doesn't make sense. This is about equipping people to have better jobs. So we're able to stop that cut from taking place, and it's not important for Louisiana per se. It's important for the workers of Louisiana.
So we've talked a lot about on the show before, about Medicaid expansion in the state and the governor deciding to do that, and then how our economy is doing, and then about oil and gas, and, kind of how the other parts of the state are doing well. Lafayette is still lagging behind as far as oil and gas goes. Now, when you go to health care, well, we've got Medicaid, this big Medicaid expansion. So, yeah, more money is going to be spent. So, it seems like it's kind of all over the map when it comes to our economy in Louisiana. I mean, if you're in Lafayette in the Acadiana area, it's painful.
It is painful. Oil field services are coming back, though. So the outer continental shelf activity is beginning to pick up.
Thank God.
And there's also a lot of activity just north of Acadiana, beginning in Rapides Parish, a huge find of oil using fracking, which I suspect some folks in Lafayette will be involved in. But that said, we have to diversify our economy. Our universities are a great place to start. There is a incubator with most universities in McNeese in Lake Charles. They came up with Waiter, the app Waiter. It's kind of like Grubhub, that they sold to some guy for $300 million. Now, that's a wonderful way to diversify your economy, isn't it?
Yes, it's very nice.
ULL's got a fantastic computer science program. And we've been attracting people to Louisiana. One thing I'm trying to do, for example, is to encourage states to allow a computer language to be used as a substitute for a foreign language requirement.
Oh.
Now, Bernie, you probably took French in high school, maybe Spanish, but you don't speak a lick of it now.
You were so right, and it was French, actually, and I can understand the curse words just fine.
My wife can say when you ask her if she speaks French, the only French she knows is un peu. I mean, it's unreal un peu. So the point being, if a kid grows up speaking Python or COBOL or whatever they're using now, or even becomes just incredibly good at Excel, she can keep that task, she can keep that with her throughout her workforce years and build upon it and actually have something she is speaking 20 years later in your case or 40 years later in my case.
Unput, just a little bit, huh? Yeah. Well, at least you got one good word, right? Well, Senator, we have to wrap it up for time, but as always, want to thank you so much for really talking with us and delving into the issues of the day. So let me ask you this real quick before we wrap up, too. Did you take French? Did you take Spanish? Do you know anything?
German, Latin, French. I took everything, but now I'm actually really interested in Spanish, and I've been studying Spanish for quite some time, and actually can get by in Spanish. I always wanted to speak another language, but really, an educated French person speaks English, whereas you'll still come across people who speak Spanish, not English. So I've ended up landing upon Spanish and do my best to understand it.
Well, I'm very proud of you. I do know a little Spanish. I know two very important words, cervezas and baños. Where's the beer? Where's the bathroom?
Well, you typically are renting beer when you drink it, so
That's
you need
right.
to know donde está el baño.
Senator Bill Cassidy, as always, sir, thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, take care. All right, coming up now on 8:18. I know how to ask for the beer.
That's the important thing. I mean, tequila is universal.
Yeah, right? Amen to that. Tiffany, you're going with that idea, too. It's universal.
Yes, tequila. Everyone knows tequila.
And if they don't, God, their lives must be so unhappy. All right, 8:18 on the way. More of this crazy Acadiana morning news.